deserted island. Just sand in the middle of the ocean. So cool. Last time on Sailing Balachandra, I talked about the boat deal I got when I bought Balachandra, how things happened, and how I was able to buy the boat for almost half the listed price. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel, I'm Dan and my partner is Noel, and we're sailing Balachandra. We're from Nova Scotia, Canada, and we've sailed all the way down here to the Caribbean, and we've been sailing in the Caribbean for about a year now. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, just go below the video, look for the big red subscribe button, press that button. Hey guys, in this week's video we're going to dip into a little bit of psychology. We're going to talk about the human brain and how it relates to cruising. It's kind of borderline psychology philosophy, so if it's not really something you're into, just click through, maybe go to the next video, but you might find it very interesting. It's a topic that comes up a lot when we're just hanging out and having a few beers, and even other cruisers, when they hear this, sometimes they're just like, you know, it's a crazy concept, but it's very real and it's worth your time if you're interested, so I hope you enjoy it. Have you ever wondered why, and when people in their later years say, "My life flew by"? Well, you hear that term all the time, how life flies by. Does life actually fly by? Is it too short? Or do we just perceive that it's too short? Or, towards the end of life, do we feel that it's unfair and therefore life is too short? Or was life actually too short? It's a very interesting question. How do we, as individuals, perceive the time we spend on this planet? When you work in a typical 9-to-5 job, day in and day out, one regular work week tends to fly by. It really does. At the end of the week, you might say, "Wow, that week really flew by." In contrast to this, when you go on vacation for 1 week, that time seems to pass more slowly. Your 1 week might feel like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, especially in a beautiful place, leaving you feeling refreshed and energized with new experiences and ready to go back to work. What's the difference between working and vacation? Why do we perceive our time so differently? There is a reason for this. When you work an ordinary, regular job, you typically do the same thing each and every day. You get up, you shower, you have breakfast, you do your morning commute, you do the typical routine of your day job throughout the day, whichever day job you may have. You then commute home, have dinner, maybe some entertainment, and then off to bed. And on, day after day, 5 days a week, every single week of your working life. The human brain is a very economic organ. It recognizes your routine activities, things you do all the time, like brushing your teeth, driving your car, and things you do at work, especially the things you do more often or repetitively or routinely. When you do the same activity over and over, you become better at it with practice. Not only do you become better at it, but your brain will automate those functions. Because routines are typically the same each and every time over and over, they are treated as uneventful, and the brain basically all but switches off at these times. You may do hours and hours of routine work at your job and not even be conscious of the fact that you're doing it. This means that throughout your work week, your brain is basically on standby, waiting for something different, something worth recording. Your brain is basically waiting for a special event to switch on and start recording and make that moment memorable. Something worth calling up in the future to say, "Oh, that moment, it was special." When you're working, especially if you have a long commute, or a lot of long repetitive tasks at your job, if you were to add up this time, your brain is basically on standby for the majority of your week. If you work for years and years throughout your life, at jobs with commuting and repetition, you can easily spend the majority of your life with your brain on standby, simply waiting for eventful things to happen. Then, when you retire, you may look back on a life spent working, and you will only be able to remember milestones or vacations, as these were times that the routine was broken. Something eventful happened, and your brain started to record. When it's your birthday, or when you go on vacation, especially to an exotic place, you're going to be flooded with new experiences. Lots and lots of things for your brain to process. You'll find that you tire quicker because your brain will have been overstimulated with information. the opposite of a normal workday. In order for your brain to process a day on vacation, you will probably want to go to bed early. You will feel that those days will feel much longer than a normal day of your life. If you decide to break your routine, like going on vacation, or to choose a new life for yourself by living transient or becoming nomadic, like cruising or living in an RV traveling across the country, you throw yourself into a new world where routines become rare and you are flooded with new experiences. When your days are filled with new experiences and your brain is working harder, you'll have a bigger appetite and want to eat more. Your brain needs the food. It's being overstimulated. You'll be more tired at the end of the day. This is due to the overstimulation of your brain with new experiences, so much so that you may feel the need to write a journal just to help you remember. When there's so much new information and your brain is almost tripping over itself, it may be difficult to remember the new milestones as there are so many. Keeping a journal does help. For me, at the end of a single month of cruising on Balachandra, I can look back and I can honestly say that that 1 month felt like maybe 3 months of my old life when I was working at a job. Cruising keeps your brain working, it keeps you active, and it helps you experience a longer, more eventful life. I think if I were to spend my entire life stimulating my brain in this way, I would feel as though I lived for hundreds of years. It sounds silly when you say it, but when you're so flooded with experiences and your brain becomes so full, I can't possibly imagine how, when I reach the age of retirement, I will look back and say, wow, my life really flew by. How could it fly by, going at this pace? Down here in the Caribbean, they call it island time. Island time simply means that you'll get around to it. Someone could say, yeah, I'll be there in 5 minutes. That usually means sometime within the next hour. If they say, it'll be an hour, that usually means sometime within the day. If they say today, that might mean a week from now. That's just simply the way people live in places like this. So that's the end of this week's video about the human brain and cruising. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions for me, just leave them in the comments below or get in touch with me on Facebook and I'd be happy to answer. Thanks guys. Thanks for watching. If you like our videos, please don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. Just go below the video, look for the big red button that says subscribe, press that button. If you want, you can leave a like or a comment below. We'll read the comments. And if you haven't already checked out our Patreon page, now's a good time to do so. Patreon's a place where you can give back if you like our videos and you want to support us. Thanks. See you later.